Will Phoenix fulfill his destiny by rising from the ashes and return to the meta? That is what we're going to break down in this video. Before we get into it, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of Phoenix so far. Is he still washed up or will he be a top duelist pick? Alright, I'm chill and let's get into it. Before getting into my breakdown, let's quickly go over the Phoenix changes and Riot's philosophy behind each decision. To paraphrase, Riot believes Phoenix's curveball or flash ability is the staple of his kit. Basically, Phoenix's abilities revolve around how good the flash is. Riot wanted to bring his flash up to par with other agents. They also see Phoenix as an aggressive entry agent, which is why they tuned up his wall and ult. So Phoenix's max flash duration got bumped up from 1.1 second to 1.5 second, which is the same as Yoru's. The speed in which flash is activated and pops decreased from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds. It might not seem like a big change, but it's definitely noticeable. Phoenix's wall change works like this. If you bend the wall and let go of left click before the wall finishes casting, he will ready his weapon faster than previously. To be clear, what Riot means by bending refers to holding left click while the wall is casting. Even if you don't physically bend the wall in a specific direction and simply left click and let go, the reduced equip speed will still apply. As for his ult, the amount of shields you started with before ulting will remain once his ult ends. So if he had 25 shield, then he'll have 25 when the ult ends. If he had 50, he'll keep 50, and so on. Let's break down these changes and see how they may work in practice. So curveball is now harder to turn away from flash, making the flash kills more reliable and easier. A general tip is that one of the best ways to flash is through your wall or other walls in the game. This is because you can more reliably get the flash to pop just after it passes through a wall. This is called a pop flash, and the better you can get at this type of flash, the more kills you'll get for yourself due to the near impossible reaction time an enemy would need to have to turn away. Now that the flashes travel faster and last longer, pop flashing will be a little bit easier to pull off. Flash duration lasting longer just brings it up to par with Yoru. All other flashes last 2 seconds. Phoenix and Yoru's flashes will almost always be used for yourself, so it shouldn't need to last as long as an initiator's, for example. This change is interesting. At first when I saw the wall change, I thought, that's it? I barely noticed the difference from the previous iteration of his wall. However, when you apply Riot's philosophy and their intended outcomes of these buffs, it becomes more clear. Just like the other duelists, you're meant to combine abilities upon site entry. Jet's dash into smoke, Neon's wall sprint and slide, etc. I believe Riot's intention was to increase the speed in which he uses his wall and flash to enter a site. This is so Phoenix can really fulfill that aggressive playstyle. It's also a bit of a quality of life change, which helps with the fluidity between using abilities in succession. Is this enough? I'm not sure, but compared to how it was previously, this change makes a little bit more sense than looking at the wall in a vacuum. This combo took longer to execute prior to the patch, but it is obviously faster now because of the changes. The takeaway is to never hold left click the entire duration of the wall cast, and you'll always equip your weapon at the optimal speed. You never really need to hold left click the entire time to get the desired result. This is the big one. Phoenix's ult now feels like it could be one of the best revive or extra agent ultimates in the game. Alongside Sage and KO's revive, Phoenix's ult falls right in line with theirs and can be even better because of your increased survivability after your ult ends. Using this ult to entry site is already strong, and now you essentially have a temporary 6v5 on your rounds that you use it. The fact that it also only takes 6 ult points to use is better than KO and Sage, which means you'll be getting it pretty often each game if you're performing well. If you think I'm performing well and you're enjoying yourself, consider doing the right thing and like the video. You like the video and you receive a gold star for the day. You're welcome. So obviously in the last act and most acts, Phoenix's pick rate has been among the bottom 3. The changes will improve his pick rate based on the fact that anytime an agent gets buffed, they are automatically picked more because people want to see if the changes were good or not. After that honeymoon period, things start to settle again. I would expect Phoenix's initial pick rate to bump up a decent amount and surpass Yoru and maybe have a similar pick rate as one of the middle of the road agents like Killjoy or KO. Once people start to figure out how to play against the Phoenix again, I can see his pick rate stabilize or even drop back down a bit. My initial first impressions with Phoenix are mixed, but I will say it feels nice to play him again. Early on, he was my most used agent next to Omen. It's kind of crazy because I haven't played him in probably over a year, and to this day, he is still my number 2 agent. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to play against the Phoenix, so there will be an adjustment period. Let's get into some specifics and wrap this up. Overall, the flash changes are great. They make flash kills easier, they're more reliable, they're in line with Yoru's now, and they synergize better with the wall. The wall change in my eyes is more of a quality of life or supplementary buff to his flashes. On its own, it won't be noticeable. The wall flash combo will allow Phoenix to be more aggressive, and site entry should feel a little bit faster. Finally, I think the ult change will have the biggest impact out of the patch. It could be one of the best revive ults in the game now. You are now adding a 6th player to a round where you use it. It makes using the ult feel less like a trade-off and more like an actual power-up. It's a very strong site entry tool, and combined with ults like Sky's Seekers, Breach's Rolling Thunder, and Fade's Nightfall, it'll be extremely effective. Will the meta change? Can you expect a similar meta shift to when Chamber joined the roster? No, I don't think that'll be the case. I don't think these changes are big enough for Phoenix to be a top pick duelist over Jett, Reyna, or Raze. Phoenix is easier to play than Yoru, so I think we'll see more Phoenixes than Yorus, but long term, I think he'll be in that flex pick realm where he's not a go-to, but is no longer a throw or a troll pick. If I had to make a duelist tier list, I would probably put him in C tier, kinda close to Neon. I think his wall brings that controller element to his kit to assist his teammates, and it synergizes well with his flashes. Phoenix has always felt like a support duelist to me because he doesn't need to rely on a healer, and his wall and ult are great tools for site entry to work with your team. He has some potential with these changes, but I think he'll need something a little bit more in the future to be considered among the top duelists. With some practice and mastery of his utility, I think he can be decent for ranked, but ultimately Jett, Raze, and Reyna will still see more playtime. I think originally people expected Phoenix to get a similar rework to how Yoru got, since he's been out of the meta for so long. And even before Yoru's rework, he's still got more playtime than Phoenix. I think Riot believes in Phoenix's kit, and they want to explore incremental changes before considering a complete overhaul. Time will tell if this method works for Riot, but for now we can theory craft a bit on what the rework could look like. Most of the duelists have some kind of movement ability or a way to get out of taking damage quickly. Without getting too outlandish, I think something more subtle like increased movement speed right after using his wall or while playing near his wall could be cool. Maybe some more control over flashes. In a similar manner to Sky's flash, you could hold left or right click to extend the distance flash travels before curving. This could help you use flashes for your teammates as well as yourself. A big one that I've seen other players ask for is the ability to cancel his ult. There are a lot of times Phoenix players want to cancel to avoid getting killed by an enemy near where they started their ult. Yoru has it, Omen has it, Viper, Sova. You see what I mean? On paper, this change makes sense to me. So how do you guys feel so far about the Phoenix changes? If you agree or disagree with my analysis, let me know down in the comments. If you're dead set on playing Phoenix, then check out this Molly Spots video I did for him on Fracture. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed your stay, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.